Hi, I'm Debbie.
And I'm Jan.
Welcome to Villages 365. Today we're going to bring you reasons that you may want to think about moving to the Villages. So
Right.
it is a great place to live, first of all, so we'll get that right out there. But one of the reasons that we like living here is we get to drive everywhere in our golf carts. And that is, well, especially with gas prices,
Yes. And if you have an electric cart, then,
it's quite a bonus.
Yeah, it is quite a bonus. So you just plug that guy in and off you go. But yeah, it's easy, it's convenient, it's lots of parking.
Yes, it's easy to park, and everybody loves to, when the kids come down and stuff, that's what everybody loves. Can we go on the golf cart ride, and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a great way to get around, very enjoyable.
Yep. You go to the store, you can go to the hospital, you can go to, you name it, you can get there by cart.
Yep. Another reason you may want to move to the Villages is there are a ton of activities. So there's always something going on. You can check with any of the rec centers. They all have activities inside and out. The paper lists a lot of activities. There's just things to do in the community.
Yeah, there's tons of clubs you can join. And there's, I don't even know how many clubs there are. They had it in the paper a while back, and
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, there's hundreds of clubs. And if there's not one that you, if whatever your hobby or interest is and there's not a club for it, you can start one. Mm-hmm. So there are a ton of activities to do in the Villages.
Another one is the weather. And what can you say? I mean, it's fantastic.
Yes.
We have a couple hot months in Florida, but we had a lake house in northwest Arkansas, and I would look on my phone, and the humidity was just as bad there as here. So,
yeah.
I mean, you just stay out of the sun and sit in the shade or in the air conditioning or do your activities in the morning.
Yeah.
In the summer, a lot of the golf courses are pretty empty in the afternoon because it does get hot and it rains.
To rain a little bit.
Yeah. So it rains a little bit, but the weather is so stellar.
Yeah. And I always think it's funny because, so a couple things. One is when people from up north would say like, well, it's so humid there. Well, again, trust me, like from Chicago, it gets humid in Chicago. And to me, the advantage is even if it's hotter than blazes during the day, in the morning, it's beautiful. If you get up at 6, 7 o'clock and get your day started, you can do a lot before it starts getting hot. Right. And in the evening, when the sun's going down, it's perfect. And that is a great time to get things done or to hang out or go outside.
Right.
And when it's snowy and cold, there's not a part of the day that I want to be outside.
No.
So at least here you have some opportunities.
Right. And at night, it does cool off here. It's kind of amazing that you go for a walk or go up to the square and a nice breeze is blowing. And as long as you're out of that sun, I mean, it cools down every night. It's kind of, when the heater's not up there, then,
it's perfect.
It is.
And another thing that I find interesting is that I have some friends that say like Sarasota's their line. They don't want to be any further north in Florida than like Sarasota. That's where the heat, they feel like it's warmer in the winter. And I do watch their weather too. And a lot of times they're the same as we are, or maybe just a couple degrees warmer. But the thing is that I do notice then come April, May, they are way warmer. Right. So if you're thinking about moving to Florida and you don't want that extreme heat, like if you're just a snowbird or a seasonal person, it's probably less of an issue, but it gets hotter than blazes. When the state starts getting fatter down there,
yeah,
it's getting hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
I think it's swelling. Yeah. It's so hot it swells.
It's swelling in the heat. Yeah, I mean, and we can in January get a frost or two. I mean, some winters we get nothing, and sometimes that cold air dips from the rest of the.
This year it was.
Yeah, we had a couple of frosts. Yeah, so we've had some plants that suffered a little bit, but and that's what they get the advantage of way down south. They usually don't get in below freezing.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's kind of rare for us too. So, but the weather's great.
Yeah,
I mean, can't beat it.
Can't beat it. Another reason to consider moving to the Villages is the music. So Jan's our music expert. You love music.
I do love
music. Whether it's at church or
Yeah, we sing in the choir. There's lots of concerts. The Sharon has concerts. The Savannah Center has concerts. There's a lot of good singers in the villages. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
professional singers and people that were professional, say in New York.
Yeah.
They're down here now, and there's symphonies, there's a cappella groups, there you name it, and they bring in the Sharon will bring in some headliners. David.
Yeah, we went and saw David Foster together.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sharon also has different entertainment too outside of the music. They also do like comedians, like I think Jay Leno was here and like
Right.
Howie Mandel.
Yep.
So there's, I mean,
Broadway
constant
shows.
entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Broadway shows. And they also house the village's high school. Will have a musical there, or their symphony, or their band, or whatever, their jazz band. And yeah, I mean, you could go to music every night.
Yes. Well, and as you probably know, if you've been checking up on the villages or live here, there is live music on all three squares every single night, 365 days a year, three squares, and it's from 5 till 9. So there's, I mean, if you like music, this is the place to be.
Yep.
And now, what goes on at Tierra? Tierra also, is that all theater?
It's a theater. Now, I think that we went to one there that was a kind of a musical. It was there was singing in it and songs, but yeah, it can either be a drama or a comedy, and it's a very small, intimate. I mean, there's not a bad seat, but you go to the bathroom before you get in there, because if once you get up, you cannot, because you would disturb a lot of people, because it is very, very small venue, but it's very nice, and I think you can buy the package for how many shows they put on. We haven't been there well, of course, COVID, but we'll have to go back there again, because it was very nice. It was really, really
But
nice.
most of the bands are either at the Sharon or at Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
And actually in the summer, I think this is really cool. They started this during COVID because nobody could be inside. They started the concerts. I don't know if I think they call it the concerts in the park or the outdoor series. Maybe it's called the outdoor series.
In
so it's
December,
like
isn't it?
No, it's like a week. Is it in December?
I thought it was cold.
It might be.
No, I think it is at the beginning of December.
It is. Okay. So then, but it was a week, I think it was. And over at the polo field, which is obviously wide open and huge, they hosted different bands, like 38 Special was here.
And good band. I mean, of course, people from the 60s and 70s type bands. But yeah, they brought in some good entertainment.
Yeah, well-known bands. So I think they did like 4 or 5, I think.
I think so too. And you could sit in your cart and watch, or
your automobile,
a couple of chairs you could put in front of your cart and sit in the chairs. In fact, we didn't know that the first one was going on. And in our bedroom, I could hear this boom, 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 boom. And we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And because some nights when the wind blows, we can hear the square music faintly, but this thing was like in your gut, boom, boom. So we get in the cart, we're out there, it's dark, we're trying to find it, and we think
and they live about 15 minutes away from the polo field. So it wasn't like they live right next door.
Well, we finally figured out it was something over the polo field, but then the next morning, and a lot of people were out. They were like, where's that noise coming from? Where's that, because you could hear the bass more than anything else.
Yeah.
But and then the next day it said something about the concert the night before, and we're like, oh.
And so it's not like you get blasted out all the time. This is a short term.
No.
They do it like we said, 4 or 5 days.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, and it was probably just the wind that year then, or something.
It could have been the wind, or it was so still that it carried. Or they just said turn down your bass.
But this is a great place if you like to dance, sing, anything with music. Just listen to music. This is a great place to be.
Yep.
So, churches.
A lot of churches.
Yeah, I looked online because I was curious how many. I have read that we have the most churches per capita, but I don't know what the number is. But I did look, and I found over 70 churches in the area. So the villages, Wildwood, Fruitland Park, Summerfield, and Lady Lake. There in that area, there were over 70 churches.
Yeah.
So
and 3 mega churches in the villages.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a very, very active. And then, of course, they go out in the community and help the community. And so, yeah, I mean, you can go church shopping for a long time.
Yeah, if that's important to you, that you definitely have a lot of churches. So that's a good thing. And to that end, volunteer opportunities. So a lot of people, when they retire, they think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do without work? And so one of the things that you can do is donate your time. And there are a million ways to do that down here. They have Big Brother, Big Sister. At the school, our school's a charter school. A lot of retired people go over and they help tutor, people that were in education when they were working in that.
Or
Not me. They don't want me helping
some of them
anybody.
mentor like a Big Brother, Big Sister type program. Yeah. And there's a lot of villagers that they were athletes or still athletes. Their kids were athletes, and they go over and watch the basketball games, the football games, and they're very active in their in the school over there.
When I helped coach the tennis team the first year we were here, just to give me something to do and kind of get involved with the community and that. So there are a lot of opportunities, and through the churches, there is still a bit of poverty in our area in certain towns near us. So those people do need the help. They need the money and they need the help. We've got food pantries that people work. We have programs that they collect. There's a thing called Sozo for the kids. There's a forest up in Ocala, and people do live in the forest, and they're not, they're less than fortunate financially. And so they collect a lot of clothing and shoes, because those kids, they don't want them going to school, feeling maybe less than their counterparts at school. So there are just so many charities here to donate time and money to.
Yep.
But especially when you're retired, a lot of people are like, what am I going to do with my time? And that is a great way to spend your time, is helping other people. And there's a million opportunities down here for that.
Yes. And you could be busy all day doing that.
Yep, you could all week long.
And feel good about it too.
Yeah. And golfing. That's another reason to move to the villages.
Yep. 711 holes of golf.
Yep.
And it's and they're still building some. So that's
they said that's the most in the world. So that's a lot of golf.
And golf takes a lot of your day. I mean, by the time you get ready, go to the golf, play the golf, go home or drive home or go out to eat. I mean, it's a full day.
Yeah. And it becomes a full activity, because first of all, you got to buy golf clothes so you look cute. Then you go golf, and then you go have cocktails or dinner with your friends. And it's a very social thing down here. There's very serious golfers down here, and there's some retired, there's a guy that I was told that and I don't know what his name was, but some friends of mine played with a guy, and he was a professional golf, did the tricks and stuff like that. So anyway, it was kind of interesting. You meet a lot of very interesting people here. Another reason to move to the villages is people have stories to tell. It's amazing when you meet people and you hear what they did.
And they're from all over the world. I mean, there's people from Scotland, England,
Canada.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians. And it's and you can meet people anywhere, at the restaurant, golfing, at the square. You can sit down and you just start talking to somebody, and it's just, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, you want to go eat? Have you eaten yet? You want to? I mean, it's just you can meet. I mean, we met golfing, so
Yep. One thing would also be the new trend, obviously, is pickleball. Everybody plays pickleball. There are 229 pickleball courts and 24 platform courts, and those are the most in the U.S. in one area. And the pickleball, the people here do play. There's all sorts of levels. Just recently down in Naples, they had the U.S. Open for pickleball, and a lot of the villages players go down there. It's convenient for that, because obviously we're not too far from, maybe, I don't know, 3 hours, 4 hours from Naples. So it's an easy drive for people. They don't have to come from the north or anything to participate in the U.S. Open. But I read in the paper that a couple guys from the villages won the U.S. Open in the 65 and up for pickleball. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, and it's very active community. I mean, there's open court, and then you can rent or not. Yeah, you can you can rent a court, and
it doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost
you sign up for it and book it, basically.
It wasn't good. Yeah, to reserve a court.
Exactly.
And then I think that some groups you are rated.
Yeah, a
So,
lot of the groups, the villages will ask you to go to their Pickleball 101 and get rated by one of the pros here,
right.
yeah, so that they have an idea. But
And it's the same with the baseball. The baseball's huge here,
yes,
and that's another
softball,
thing.
yeah,
Softball,
softball, yep,
and you try out, and then they put you in different levels, so you don't have a stacked team.
yes,
So you might play in, let's call it the A group, but if you get better, then you can move up a group, and then I think that keeps it fair and the play more
yeah. So you
fair.
don't have you're not, one team's not slaughtering the other one.
Right.
That's no fun in softball when you have the slaughter rule and you
Yeah.
finish early and all that stuff. And they actually do have here a softball home run derby, and old retired professional baseball players come and hit, and they're creaming the ball. They hit out on, there's some softball fields kind of near the high school, and one year they were hitting them out onto 466, the road that was going there. So, but they were retired professional
Yeah.
baseball players. So,
And
and I
they
know
can
one of the
still
guys I
swing.
played tennis with, he was a professional pitcher for a baseball team. I just read in the newspaper there was another professional player. He played for the Atlanta Braves, and he loves water volleyball, and so
Oh
that's
yeah, I
what
think I
he's
read
doing
that.
there. Yeah. So we've got some pretty good athletes here too.
Yep.
So quite interesting. Again, when you meet people, ask them about their story. You'd be surprised what they did in their real world.
Yeah.
So
And their other life
yes, yes.
before retirement.
And another thing that would be a good reason to move here is if you like everything readily accessible, we have grocery stores on every corner, doctor's offices on every corner. So it's very easy to get to things
Right.
on your golf cart, in your car, however you choose to travel. Bicycle. Some of
Yeah.
my friends ride their bikes everywhere. But
Some people
that's,
walk to the store.
yep,
I mean, there's
part of their exercise.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the store and pick up a couple things, but yeah, everything's 5 minutes.
Yep. And you are pretty close to Disney and the parks without being right on top of it. So the nice thing is, Orlando can be more of a city than the Villages is. And so it's nice because when your grandkids come, we're about an hour away from Disney and, Universal or whatever your Epcot, whatever
Right.
your choice
Yeah.
is. But it's nice because it's close enough that you don't have to really stay overnight. You can go have a nice day and then come back home, save some money because
Right,
you've
yeah,
probably
'cause
spent it all on stuffed Minnie Mouse dolls. And
Exactly. And it's expensive to stay down at Disney.
It
I mean,
is.
it is. I mean, a lot of people make that their whole vacation, but a lot of people come and stay with someone in the villages and go down there and back, down there and
Yeah.
back. And so,
nice,
yeah.
easy way to do it. So, and this is more of a Florida thing, but it does obviously apply to us in the Villages, is the tax base. The taxes here are very reasonable, and our property taxes are reasonable. Now, that part I don't know about the rest of Florida, how they operate, but down here our taxes are, in my mind, very reasonable. Again, coming from the Chicago area,
Yeah, it's
property taxes are high there. And down here,
coming from Iowa, the taxes here are a lot lower.
Yeah.
Especially the town we lived in back there. And Arkansas, about the same. I think maybe Arkansas is a little more. But yeah, I'm very pleased with what our taxes are.
And no state income tax.
No, there's a plus.
Yeah.
No state income tax.
And you don't pay sales tax on groceries that are, I don't know how to describe it, that are like canned goods, things like that. You pay on something like if you bought a roasted chicken that's already made at the store, those are taxable, but your other stuff isn't. And I think that's on food, not on your other things. But
right.
I think that's kind of nice. I mean, it doesn't save you a ton of money, but it saves you a few bucks.
Yeah.
So
it adds up.
But yeah, financially, I think that overall, and I think that the Villages, so financially for your money, there's a lot of free stuff you can do here. You can golf for free. You can join the clubs for free. You can, you can swim for free. You can, play any of the sports at the rec centers for free. So there is a good bang for your buck, I guess I would say.
Yeah. I mean, you can keep very entertained for little money.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were on a budget, this would be a good place to be because you can do a lot of things that are budget friendly. You can also spend a truckload of money.
Yeah.
but you don't have to.
Right. You can buy, there's a big range of house prices.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And the cost of, if you went to the Sharon to see a show every night, well, yeah, that's going to
Cost you a little bit of money.
cost you. If you golf every day, that's going to cost you. But,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of things you can do for free.
For free. Go to the square every night. Listen to free music there.
Yeah. Dance the night away.
Yep. Yep. Get some exercise. So anyway, hopefully these give you some ideas of why it might be a good reason to move to the Villages.
Yep. It's a place that we love.
Yes. We're not realtors. We don't really care.
Yeah.
We're just doing it for y'all.
That's right.
So, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Like and subscribe.